Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now guys, Nigerians are the most dichotomous people on the planet. There's absolutely no question about that. The people of the country aspire to the highest standards, but the leaders of the country are the lowest form. So with that guys, I bring you this. Tinubu's Bullion van, EFCC requests petitions following calls to investigate Buhari's ally. So that's the headline. Tinubu's Bullion van, EFCC requests petitions following calls to investigate Buhari's ally. So now let's find out exactly what the situation is here. Segun Owosanya, an activist popularly known as Shegelink, has asked the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to conduct an investigation into a bullion van that allegedly brought a large tranche of cash into Bola Tinubu's home on the eve of the 2019 presidential election. The anti-corruption agency has requested petitions on the politicians displaying wealth that can't be justified. Tinubu is a strong ally of President Muhammadu Buhari and the national leader of the ruling All Progressive Congress. The commission had posted on its social media that it is empowered by the law to investigate anyone suspected of having illicit funds. Section 7.1 of the EFCC Establishment Act 2004 gives us the power to investigate properties of anyone if it appears to the commission that the person's lifestyle and extent of the properties are not justified by a source of income, the commission tweeted. Reacting to the tweet, Shegelink queried the anti-graft agency for keeping mum when evidence of a bullion van was seen moving into the Bullion residence of Tinubu. Shegelink tweeted, "I'm sure this section only gives you an erection when it concerns Yahoo boys and opposition politicians, whilst the miraculous self-aggrandizers in bed with those the head of the EFCC worship are immune to investigation. Daylight bullion van exhibition of Bullion is justified," and he ended that with a question mark. During the 2019 presidential election, a bullion van was seen entering the house of Tinubu in Ikoyi. When the politician was quizzed about it by journalists, he dismissed the question, saying he held no public office and could choose to spend his money as he wished. The anti-graft agency, however, defended its record, insisting that it had secured convictions of former governors and other politically exposed persons. It stated, "Not to toe the line of politics as you may wish, but the EFCC has successfully investigated, prosecuted, and secured over 1,245 convictions between 2015 and 2019, which include 2 former governors, several top government functionaries, both in the past and present dispensation, applauders." And Adamant Shegelink, however, posted the picture of bullion vans entering Tinubu's home on the eve of the 2019 presidential election. The activist, who spearheaded the End SARS movement, said the EFCC should take action on the bullion van incident before it would be respected by Nigerians. He tweeted, "Let me splash some colors on this to make it simpler to comprehend. Your tweet claims that all the EFCC requires to hunt down citizens is the display of wealth that can't be justified. What justified the relocation of CBN to Asiwaju's house in Bullion on the eve of the election?" So now this is now the back and forth that is going on between EFCC and this Shegelink's guy. So let's read through the sequence of tweets actually, because the tweets are up. So this is Shegelink's now. This is at Shegelink. So this is what he tweeted out. "Your boss claimed that he has built and strengthened the institution for the mere fact that EFCC are now in their own building. Can you tell us what rule prohibits the investigation and prosecution of the likes of Asiwaju, Oshiomhole, Okpabio et al. Granted absolution by the APC? So now this is now the question that this Shege Link chap is tweeting out to this EFCC, who are trying to be boastful that they're intimidating PDP politicians and any young man with a laptop in Nigeria. So now this is now the conversation that is going on. So he goes on further. Let me splash some colors on this to make it simpler to comprehend. Your tweet claims that all EFCC requires to hunt down citizens is the display of wealth that can't be justified. What justified the relocation of CBN to Asiwaju's house in Bullion on the eve of the election? So now this is now the tweet that this Shege law is sending to EFCC to pressure them on their boastful ways and their ineffectual administration of justice and their lopsided investigations, etc. So now this is now pressure being mounted on these people. So the EFCC, however, asked Shege Link to forward a petition to any of its offices on the matter. So this is now their tweet back to this Shege Link. Kindly forward your petition to information@efccnigeria.org or visit any of our zonal offices or head office to submit a copy of your petition, the EFCC said. So now this is now the exchange between EFCC and Shege Link. But as I said, these people are being boastful, claiming that they are doing this, that, and the other, and we all know that they are doing absolutely nothing. And this guy is exactly right. How can you have bullion vans rolling into the premises or the residence of a leading politician, in fact the head of one of the two main political parties in Nigeria, on the eve of a presidential election, and you do not see that as a corrupt practice? One, where is the money coming from? Where did he get enough money that would require 2 bullion vans? Because I only know bullion vans to transit money for banks. So this guy now has more money than a bank, effectively, is now what we're seeing being displayed in physical form in front of our very own eyes. So that's the one element. Then the second element is, why are these chunks of money being moved on the eve of an election? On the very week of the election, you are carrying this much money into the house, into the residence of the chairman of one of the two leading political parties in the country. So there are only two parties that have realistic prospects of producing the Nigerian president, and really, if you boil it down, there's only really one party, which is usually the ruling party, and the only anomaly that we saw that jarred that was the Goodluck Jonathan thing, because he did not force himself back, which is what they usually do. But the only real party that has any realistic chance really of winning an election in Nigeria is the party in situ at the time of the elections. So now you now have the chairperson of this party that is in situ, that is in government, moving 2 billion vans filled with cash, and the guy did not even deny that the thing was filled with cash. He said, I'm a private citizen and I can do as I wish with my money. So you are now then on the flip side of that, you being the EFCC, saying that anybody displaying illicit wealth or wealth that cannot be justified will be investigated. So now, what more is a display of illicit wealth and wealth that cannot be justified than 2 billion vans filled with cash rolling into the premises of a private citizen on the eve of an election? What more do you need for you to investigate? I mean, what clearer the demonstration of that thing that you have said would trigger an investigation is what we just saw demonstrated. And this guy now has now gone back to that and said, look, you fool yourself, you fool no one, because we see this demonstration and we see how you are playing it out, and you are just a tool in the hands of the of your political paymasters is effectively what your role is. And if you don't toe their line, they'll just get rid of you and put another person there who will toe their line. So don't come here there acting all high and mighty because you are harassing young boys up and down Nigeria, calling them yahoo yahoo for having a laptop and a mobile phone and making their life hell. So if you want to really get the respect of the Nigerian people, then we've seen this demonstration now. I am now calling your attention to it again, and by I mean Shege Links. This is what he is saying. He's saying you people have seen this demonstration by this Ashiwaju chap, and I am now calling your attention to it again off the back of what you are saying, that anybody displaying illicit wealth and showing wealth that cannot be justified will be investigated. This is now absolute categorical gold standard evidence, or at least indication of that. So there's nothing that indicates that more than this demonstration that we saw with Bullion vans 2 rolling into somebody's personal private residence. So now that is now a display of wealth that needs to be investigated. So now they're now asking him to be going to bring petition to their office, and of course if he takes a petition to their office, only God will help him to get out of that office that very day, because he will meet Showore a lot sooner than he anticipates. I'm absolutely certain about that. For having the audacity to come and bring a petition against Tinubu is, I'm sure that is some form of crime in Nigeria itself. For even having the thought of Tinubu in that manner might well be a criminal act within the Nigerian space. But then, of course, Nigeria is a very peculiar country. Conversations in the comment section, the EFCC are now turning into Alawada Keri Keri, is really what we are seeing now, especially with this Shege link pointing out what he has just done. Come tell me what your thoughts are. The Bullion van and the looter of Lagos are EFCC in the mix. These are just some of the things up for discussion on this video. But before you come have that chat, click on the red subscribe button so it turns grey. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new vid. Then come tell me what you're making of this money movement with the under the EFCC's nose in the comment section. So I'll leave you here, join in the comment section. But here I say peace.